Hey guys, we're gonna get a few minutes and then we'll go ahead and get started. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. What's going on, Ghost Rider? Good to see you. I can't in this stream, Ghost Rider, but maybe later on for sure. Victor, what's going on? Abdul, good to see you. Abhishek, doing great. Thanks for asking. Motivation Matrix, GM, Brian, good to see you as always. Notification bells are on. Visa, what's going on? Raf, hey man, wait. Are you a vocal twin of Luke Belmar? We already got the Luke Belmar questions. Yeah, right. I may be the vocal twin. I'm AI Luke Belmar. But yeah, Ghost Rider in my Telegram, you can definitely ask it in there, and I'll let you know. AJ, what's going on? Visa says, how we feeling today, boys? Brian says, audio's good, awesome. Luca, how's it going? John, closed all my losing positions, nice. Despino, what's going on? Victor, yeah, I'll post updates in my Telegram group for that. But yeah, expecting September 1st. Ritas, I'm new to this. What amount of money need to start to trade with you? So recommend $500 to $1,000 at a minimum. Ghost Rider, yep. Brome's going on. Rich, good to see you. Sod, how's it going? Lily says, happy Sunday. Hey, happy Sunday, Lily. Appreciate you. Hope you guys are having a great weekend. Stefan, what's going on? Botified. Crix. Let's see. Meat says, where is Luke? So Luke has been traveling, but Luke should be back, and then he will eventually start a live stream for you guys. Muadam says, from Morocco. Nice. I want to visit Morocco. Seems like an awesome place. Jakub, what's going on, man? Stoic, good to see you. Jackpot Ronnie, good to see you. Let's see. John says, I don't know if data was right move to closing my long position. Did place bids on major supports, though. Still went below. Yeah, so major supports, it can still wick below. But again, daily and weekly support levels, when combined with your indicators, can still provide good risk-reward opportunities. What's going on? Christopher Dillon, Heavenly Motivation, Diwa, Magic, Akudu, Dreamer says, congrats on the Tesla. Appreciate it, Dreamer. Yeah, guys, Tesla is one of the most fun cars to drive, especially the new Model Y Juniper 2026 model. It's amazing. So, but don't want to belabor it anymore. Going to start the stream, and then afterwards I will answer questions along the way. So, looks like I can actually keep the chat open while I have this PowerPoint open here. So, we will do that. Let me go ahead and move this. Well, I thought I was going to move. Looks like this window is being a little painful, but that's fine. All right, this stream is going to be about how to diversify your portfolio with crypto. So people know I always talk about diversification, and I talk about the importance of it, and not just Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, but how to invest into different alts, different stables, staking opportunities, networks, etc. So we're going to go over all that. I'm going to go over my portfolio allocation percentage-wise so you can properly allocate, diversify, and manage your risk accordingly. First, diversification is a fundamental principle of investing, guys. Any of you who are in the stock market know that. You need to diversify. For the stock market, a very popular diversification strategy is the Magnificent Seven. So the top 7 tech stocks, Meta, Amazon, Nvidia, Tesla, etc., right? Diversifying into those, Apple, into those strong allocations helps you spread your risk across multiple assets. And you have different beta plays like defensive stocks where they don't decline as much when the stock market declines because they're paying out dividends. Or you have, aggressive stocks, right? Where you have them basically being a leveraged bet on the stock market. So crypto works the same way. I mean, you have various forms of altcoins, and some are much more volatile than others. And it's just based off of studying them and finding out which one works best for your risk tolerance, and depending what return you are expecting. Now, crypto markets are volatile but offer high growth potential. So while yes, this is a very volatile field, you can earn a lot of money, guys, but you have to be disciplined. And I'm going to go over all of that as well, exactly how you can stay disciplined and how you can stay safe when diversifying. The goal is balance risk and reward through strategic allocation. So remember, diversifying is good only if you balance that risk reward. You don't just gamble on all the meme coins and hope for that 100x. It doesn't work that way. So make sure you diversify accordingly. Now, why diversify in crypto? Well, crypto is arguably the greatest opportunity of our lifetime. For anyone who's in right now, you have stumbled upon a money machine. And I say that as someone who's been in the space for 8 years, over 8 now, since May 2017, but someone who sees the opportunity of how much money there is to make if you're disciplined and you know who to follow. We've seen that with World Libertyfi. I mean, that token went from the pre-sale price of 5 cents or 1.5 cents all the way up to now 38 cents. I mean, they're going to launch tomorrow. So that shows you how much opportunity there is if you network with the right people, if you know what's going to happen in the future. So guys, I cannot stress this enough, is build your network, but build your value, okay? What value are you providing? So make sure that you are providing value, whether it's increasing your TA skills, learning how to draw support resistance, and sharing posts on X, on YouTube, wherever it is, across various groups, and network with those higher net worth individuals so they can then provide you some good information that you may not have elsewhere. So learn to provide value and then network accordingly. Then you can actually learn about these new opportunities that arise. So first is crypto reduces exposure to a single asset's risk. So just like in the stock market, right? You have stocks, you have bonds, you have currencies, you have precious metals, everything in between, options, etc. Crypto is just another vehicle for you to invest in. It's not the end all be all, but it is a vehicle that can earn a lot of money, and one that has earned a lot of money for a lot of people over the years. Now, crypto provides exposure to multiple blockchain sectors. So the big thing with this is, since there are so many emerging sectors in crypto and so many different narratives, you can capture that, right? Just like RWA, real world assets. Literally, Larry Fink of BlackRock says tokenization of assets is the future. So tokenizing, homes on the blockchain, cars, jewelry, watches, what have you. Everything is going to be on the blockchain, guys. And the more and sooner you can capitalize on that through various RWA tokens or other narratives, the sooner you can make a lot of money. Next, captures growth with opportunities across emerging trends. Just like what I was speaking of before, there's various trends that pop up, whether it's AI trends, whether it's for gaming, RWA, there's various things. And crypto provides you access to those emerging trends and also helps smooth portfolio performance in volatile markets. So with crypto, it's very imperative that you're diversifying across various assets, but ones that have shown to hold their own during volatile times. Just like Bitcoin, just like Ethereum, just like Solana, right? We've seen those outperform while others underperform. So it's going to help buffer the losses, but also help capture the gains, because some of those will outperform during the upside. So it's a very healthy way to diversify. And again, I'll go over a couple more slides, answer some questions, and then go over a couple more slides after that. So core crypto allocation, Bitcoin. Everyone should have Bitcoin in their portfolio. And they'll say, Data, why do I want to invest in Bitcoin? It's only going to 2x at most, whereas my alts can 10x or more. Guys, how many of you have made money on your alts over the past 6 months? How many of you would have been better off holding Bitcoin? Let's be honest with ourselves, right? How many of you would be better off holding Bitcoin the past 6 months than holding whatever alts you were holding? Are your alts outperforming or are they not? For some of you, yeah, they could be outperforming, right? Ethereum is one example. Solana is another example. But realistically, guys, like if you're trying to invest in some altcoins, like some mid caps or low caps, how many of those outperformed and how many of those went to zero while Bitcoin outperformed? And so Bitcoin, whether you like to admit it or not, it is digital gold. It is a store of value. It's where all the whales are investing. So I don't say invest everything in a Bitcoin, but I'm going to talk about different strategies that range from either 10% Bitcoin up to 30% Bitcoin, just depending on your risk tolerance. Next, Ethereum. Ethereum's integrated into smart contracts, DeFi, NFTs, etc. So the big thing with that is we've seen Ethereum's outperformance. We've seen the inflows via ETFs. So institutions want to invest in Ethereum. We still have the ETH staking ETF that has yet to get passed. And so there's so many catalysts for Ethereum, just like the Genius Act that was passed mid-July. We still have yet to see the after effects of that. Stable coins are very bullish for Ethereum. Again, there's a lot of catalysts for Ethereum. So Ethereum should be a big portion, if not a similar allocation as Bitcoin. So consider these as foundational holdings, guys. Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then I would throw in Solana to this as well. I would throw in Solana, and I'll tell you the portfolio allocation towards the end of this stream. So make sure you're staying tuned to how much portfolio to allocate into these, high conviction alts, meme coins, leverage, etc. Growth opportunities. So there's various opportunities. Some people think diversification. They think, oh, I'm just going to invest in 10 different coins. It's not that easy. There's other opportunities to make money. And one of those is from DeFi tokens through lending, borrowing, and yield farming. So this is very important, guys. For lending, borrowing, yield farming, and actually before I talk about this, we have 128 viewers and only 19 likes. Guys, if you could like the stream, that would help so much. It helps spread the stream to the masses so more people see this video and come and watch. And then it helps us grow, helps spread Gem Hunters to the masses, helps me out as well. So if you guys could like the video, that'd be so awesome. Appreciate you guys. But yeah, it's going over lending, borrowing, and yield farming. So for example, remember, and there's risk associated with this as well, which I'll talk about. But for lending, borrowing, or yield farming, basically lending, let's just say you lend out your Ethereum or Solana or some token, right, for someone else to trade. And they pay you an APY percentage, whether that's 3%, 4%, 5%, maybe a little more, maybe 7% or 8%. But you're lending out your token, and that could be even stable coins, right? You're staking your stable coins. But I will caveat this. What is the risk with this? The risk is like we saw with Terra Luna. So remember with the Anchor protocol, the Terra stablecoin, they were promising 20% APY for a stablecoin, guys. Literally more than 20 times more than a bank would offer. They were offering that on a stable coin. So people were investing millions or billions of dollars into this Anchor protocol because they said, oh, this is foolproof. They're pegging it to the stablecoin dollar. They're using Luna as, you know, pegging it with Luna and the stablecoin. Oh, it's not going to fail. Luna's doing amazing. It's going to $100. But a few whales exploited this mechanism and sold a lot of Luna, which in essence depegged the stablecoin, and it was a vicious spiral to the bottom. And because of that, people lost billions of dollars, and that's what is, you know, popularly referred to as the Terra Luna collapse. And so we've had a lot of those in the past, whether it's centralized exchanges collapsing, staking protocols collapsing, etc. So I caveat this, guys, is making sure if you're using these lending, borrowing, or yield farming platforms that you guys are studying and making sure they're safe, making sure you're diversifying across them, meaning you're not putting all of your stables into one platform. You're diversifying into multiple different platforms. And again, make sure that that exchange or platform has been around for a while. It's not just something new that's popped up, because there's so many of these scams that pop up that they'll promise you, oh, 30% on your stables or even 15% on your stables. Like, guys, realistically for your stable coins, you'll probably be getting 3 to 6% on your stables, realistically, between there. Any more than that, it's getting a little iffy. I could say 8% maybe is a stretch, but any more than 8%, guys, no, I wouldn't even entertain that, because the risk is way too high. Because how can someone guarantee more than 8% on a stable coin without some type of risk mechanism in place, right? So usually it's 3 to 6%. Next, layer 2 solutions. So scaling Ethereum. So another form of diversification is, you know, if you're bullish on Ethereum, well, obviously be bullish on the layer 2s, which are built on top of Ethereum. So that's why it's called a layer 2, because Ethereum is layer 1 and then built on top layer 2. Things like Optimism, Arbitrum, Metis, various L2s, right? Now, I'm not saying invest in these right away. I'm saying backtest them, look at their outperformance versus Ethereum. Did they outperform? Did they not? What's their returns been like over the past year, 2 years? Has it been good? Has it been bad? If it's been bad, no, don't invest in them. But if it's been good, well, maybe consider that, right? Beta plays to Ethereum. Now, also, it doesn't just have to, they don't have to have a token. It could be such as the base ecosystem. So the base ecosystem is a layer 2 built on top of Ethereum, but they don't have their own token. But they do have a lot of other tokens that have been holding up fairly well during this run. And so you could still explore via different networks, which we will talk about in a minute. Third, Web3 and metaverse projects, gaming and virtual assets. So this is one that I'm not as bullish on. So even though, potentially I could see a nice catalyst for gaming as we near May 2026 for GTA 6 coming out, which who knows if it's going to come out then or if it's going to be delayed again, right? But just keep in mind that there's different narratives at play. Some do better than others. Gaming has been underperforming this entire cycle, so I wouldn't bet on gaming, just speaking myself. But I have to, say it because everyone's been watching like NFTs or gaming. And guys, if you're going to invest in an NFT, Pudgy Penguins is the only one. Like Pudgy Penguins, Luke is invested in it. I'm invested in it. And Pudgy Penguins are really the only one where you can back. And even the Pengu token, like Luca, not Luke, but Luca Netz, the founder or the CEO of Pudgy Penguins, he actually said that Q4 is going to be very bullish for Pengu, the token. So he wants it to surpass Doge, and I believe he'll get there because he surpassed Bored Apes for NFT value. He thinks Pudgy Penguins are going to get to 100 Ethereum for value. And so I wouldn't bet against Luca. The guy's one of the smartest and hardest working CEOs I know. So that's a caveat, right? Gaming-wise, just make sure, always backtest the performance of whatever gaming token you're investing in, see if it has any catalysts, etc. But yeah, I have to mention it because it is a popular narrative for NFTs and gaming. Infrastructure tokens, oracles, or interoperability. So when you're diversifying, you got to look at the different narratives and the different types of tokens there are. So oracles, such as Link, right? Link has partnered with so many big institutions, so many big companies, and we saw the outperformance of Link 1 or 2 weeks ago. We saw that it went up to, I believe, $27, $28. It was a nice little pump. I know that a big whale actually invested, I think it was $8 million, sold Ethereum to buy Link, and that was a big catalyst. But nonetheless, I mean, there is some advantage in spreading your diversification across different classes, you could say, because narrative, I mean, you could call it narrative, but again, different fields like oracles, interoperability, layer 2s, layer 1s, right? Stuff like that. Different ecosystems. You could diversify across that as well. So yeah, I think Link is a good bet for oracles. And then interoperability, there's a lot as well. Just make sure you do your research and see how they performed in the past. So let me go ahead and answer a few questions, and then we'll go over the next slide after this. Let's see. Marlon says, hey, ready for the gyms, always worth the wait. Hey, appreciate you, Marlon. Hope you've been doing great. Magic says, BTC up. Yes, let's hope Bitcoin goes up. Ghostwriter, regarding entry on World Liberty Fight tonight for 3 is all right. Ghostwriter, I would be cautious because a lot of people are going to dump World Liberty Fight token because they're up 10, 20, 30x right now. So I would say a first DCA level for World Liberty Fight is 20 cents. Because there's some institutions that OTC'd at that price. So I'd say 20 cents is a good first bet. And then DCA 5s down the way. So like 20 cents, 15 cents, 10 cents, and then 5 cents is really like the big area. If you're going to get it in 5 cents, that'd be the great investment. Let's see. What's going on? Brome, MG, hello, Neo, Luke, out of the Matrix. What's going on, MG? Clausio, what's going on? Akudu, happy Sunday, man. Berserk, happy Sunday, my brother. Hey, appreciate you, Berserk. New Mind, XRP news, also Jim Hunter's on top. XRP, I know XRP has been doing a lot recently. I'm not sure about the news you're referring to. Let me just search on Google on the other screen. Yeah, not really seeing much news for XRP per se, but yeah, we'll see. And yes, Jim Hunter's is on top. We are always staying ahead. Abdul says, Dubai here. Oh, I love Dubai. Been there twice. Great place. Read us. Where can I learn a little bit about what you do, guys? I have money to invest, but don't know what and how everything works. Yeah, read us. Great question. So there's, yeah, so there's a lot of questions on that. So for Gym Hunters is a group where we share alpha, like leverage calls, meme coin calls. We have gym reports, extensive reports on certain tokens. We have live streams like this that can be very educational. So I usually do educational live streams every Sunday, and then I'll have a weekly market overview on Monday that goes over all the news that's happened over the past week, where I think the market's going for the next few weeks later, moving forward, and go over some charts and some technical analysis. And so, yeah, for Gym Hunters, you can go to the website, gymhunters.co. I know if you go to the description, We have, you can click on the description there and see what Gym Hunters is about. But it's basically a group that shares educational content, alpha, and everything in between. So take a look at it. Join the free Telegram if you aren't. First link in the description, and you can learn more about it there. And also, we have a referral link for BloFin and other leverage trading exchanges, so definitely sign up for that if you haven't. Mika Rules, what's going on? Motivation Matrix, YoG, anything about AVAX? Nothing too much motivation. I haven't looked at it too much, to be honest. I haven't studied it. I know that AVAX was performing fairly well a week or two ago, but haven't kept up with it since. Diamond Cops, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Hope you're doing as well. Stoic Mind, let's get the data sets. Thanks for sharing profound information. Of course, Stoic. Appreciate you. MD, what's going on? John says, you weren't driving the Tesla, though. Yeah, the Tesla was driving me. You're right. Leonardo, Brazil here. Oh, nice. Love Brazil. Still need to visit there. MD, Bangladesh. Nice. I want to visit there as well. A lot of good countries, guys. Derek, what's going on? Rocks, hey, bro. What's going on? Junior is here. What's going on, Junior, with the glitch emoji? Love it. Diamond Cops, buy hype and link at every dip. Institutional will bet trillions on these. Yeah, great bets. Botified, is it bad if I'm sitting on a trade for multiple days because it hit my limit order and at support, but price isn't moving much? Botified, no. So right now, what it sounds like for you is price is in the accumulation zone. If price is hovering at your support, then usually that means whales are accumulating with you if it's staying stable. Now, yes, there's a chance it can fall through support, but at the same time, you're basically at the best entry you can have. Like either it's going to break through support and crash, or it's going to bounce and you just secured a great entry. So I would make sure you have a stop loss at a reasonable spot, whether it's the lowest wick over the past week, how low did it go the past week, and then placing your stop loss just below that. As long as you have low enough leverage, you're not going to lose a lot of money, right? Just always make sure for leverage trading or any trade in general, only invest what you can afford to lose, which we'll go over more of that for this. I still have a couple more slides, so just answering a few questions right now. And again, we have 133 viewers, 58 likes. If you guys could like the stream, that'd be awesome. I appreciate all of you watching. Aculite, what's going on? Good to see you here. Ikekchuwu, active data. Yes, I am. SWAR, ACD, how's it going? What's going on, SWAR? Good to see you here as well. Botified, what exactly is the World Liberty token? It's the Trump, you could say it's the Trump family's crypto token, if you will. So the Trump family has an organization called World Liberty that invests in various cryptocurrencies. And they have like hundreds of $millions in Ethereum and others. And they're launching their own token, which is tied to the Trump family, meaning loosely tied to the Trump family, right? It's not like Trump is buying the token, but his sons like Eric Trump and Donald Trump Jr. are backing it heavily. And so that's why it's gained so much traction. You even have Andrew and Tristan Tate bull posting like crazy about World Liberty. So you know they bought a lot. Muadam says, how can we find opportunities in the spot market? 100%. So the biggest thing is just following the right people, being in the right groups like in Gym Hunters, and you can identify those opportunities accordingly. Also, being in things like my group, if you're not following me on X, I also have an X account. Here, I'll go ahead and post that, guys. If you guys aren't following me on there, let me go ahead and drag it over. One sec. There you go, guys. So, yeah. If you guys aren't following me on X at the CryptoData, do so. I share a lot of good info, guys. I actually share a lot of good info about tokens that I'm looking at, upcoming projects, because I called Camp, and Camp actually did a 6x. If you look here, I posted about Camp August 7th. It launched later in August, then it absolutely sent. So now I'm looking at Momentum, looking at Zero Gravity Labs launching soon. So yeah, guys, definitely check out my pinned message. I have a lot of good info if you guys aren't following. Abhishek says, hello, Data. If I have $300, how can I invest it? So I'll go over some portfolio allocation for that, but $300, depending how much that is to you, right? If that's like a month's salary or a month's pay, if that's, 6 months of savings, I don't know how much that is for you, but I would say at the very least, make sure you're still holding, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, whether you put $100 into all of that total. And then from there, maybe $100 into some high conviction alts, and then $50 into leverage trading or meme, and then $50 into meme coin trading. Like trying to spread it out that way, I think would be the best. So you can try to get some diversification accordingly and try to get those returns. But again, make sure you're putting in the research. That's first and foremost. SWAR ACD also, what do you think is the best range to long ETH? Is it still vulnerable to manipulation for the monthly and weekly close? Yeah, guys. So good point, SWAR. So we do have a monthly close today. and a weekly close today. So it is a big close, guys. So expect fireworks whenever that close happens in the next 5.5 hours. So it's midnight UTC for those who don't know when the daily closes are, but for the weekly and monthly, it's, yeah, same time. So keep an eye on that. I do think ETH is still vulnerable, absolutely, because the weekly is so overbought. I think that will have a week of bullishness beginning of September, but at the same time, to purchase Ethereum, I mean, 4,300 is still light support. After that, 4060 and then 3830. I would look at those areas, 4060 and 3830. Mahedi, what's the minimum Bitcoin price you would think will never break down? Ooh, I don't want to say never break down, but there's going to be a lot of support at 100K if we ever get back down there. Samir, what are your thoughts on World Liberty coin? Trump's Failing Project is going live tomorrow. Price predictions. Yeah, I think it's going to dump initially. Probably going to dump to 20 cents. May go a tad lower than that. Then it'll probably bounce and climb back up to 40 cents over the next week or two. Eswar, my Bitcoin spot position is up 58% and all my alts are in loss or break even. Exactly, Eswar. That's the point I was making earlier about if you invested in Bitcoin 6 months ago versus alts, would you be more profit in Bitcoin or in alts? And yeah, so you just got to look at the harsh truth, and that's why diversifying in Bitcoin is long-term profitable. Mahedi says, will you forever not sell ETH like BTC? If you sell, why? I think I'm going to hold ETH. Yeah, just as like I'm going to hold BTC. I think there's a lot of opportunity for both. So yeah, I would hold those long-term. As far, I just realized I have no ETH in my spot account and only large cap Sol, Sui, and Bitcoin. Yeah, as far, you definitely got to get some Ethereum. Now, again, just DCA down for Ethereum. I wouldn't buy all of it right now and just place limit orders. If they get hit, cool. If not, fine. You're right. You're still in profit. All right. Let's see what else we got. Mahedi, do a live stream once with Luke. Degens are waiting for it. Yeah, guys. I'm definitely going to do a live stream with Luke. And so me and him actually used to do live streams in the past a lot, even for some of his previous groups. And so anytime he was on Twitter Spaces, I'd jump on, or anytime he was on even Capital Club, I would jump on as well. So yeah, we will have a live stream. I promise you guys, where both of us are in there. And you'll see I'm not AI Luke, and I'm not Luke himself. So, but again, it's a fun ongoing joke. I love it. Aculite, come on guys, there's only one button to click. Yes, click that like button. Really, really helps out the channel. It helps spread it to the masses. Botify says, why should I trade Bitcoin and futures instead of just holding everything in spot? Because futures allows you to accelerate the growth and allows you to trade with capital that you wouldn't normally have. Meaning, if you have $1,000, but you're trading 10x leverage, then you have $10,000 worth of capital that you're able to trade. Granted, there's more risk because you can get liquidated and lose all your money, but that's why you only invest what you can afford to lose and only invest 5 to 10% into each trade of your portfolio. But the biggest thing is to leverage capital and make it work for you and accelerate your gains. Let's see. Oops. A lot of good questions, guys. So Vuzmuzi says, yo, CD, how's the week looking for Bitcoin? I think the week's looking good. I think Bitcoin is actually going to be outperforming versus alts in the near future, which people don't want to hear, but Bitcoin dominance is near support right now. Mahedi says, my goal is to make wife-changing money in this bull run. There you go. Diamond Cops, why no face live stream? I like to stay pseudo anon because just how crazy crypto is. Joey, so Joey, I'm not Luke, I'm John Luke, but I appreciate that. Jordan, best L2 scaling solution for ETH is ARB by far. Clearly, Robinhood used them. No. Yeah, Robinhood integrated ARB, Arbitrum. So you just need to see, like, pay attention to the unlocks and if ARB is feasible to invest in, what the performance has been the past year or two. And if it's outperformed ETH or underperformed, then that'll tell you if you should invest in it. Eswar, we are all playing GTA in real life. Lock in, guys, last 4 months. Yes, Eswar, we are GTA in real life. Take advantage of it. Lino, so on the exchange, crypto apps are different tabs. What's the difference between spot, funding, and futures? Spot is just buying and holding. Funding and futures. So futures are leverage trading, like I was saying, and then funding, I guess, I don't know if what you're talking about funding, meaning like lending or borrowing, where you lend out your crypto and get APY. See, that's the difference. Mickey Rules says, so World Liberty Fi? Yeah, World Liberty Fi near 20 cents if you can get it. Stefan, do we take some profit for some coins now before September and then enter when the dip happens in a month? Yeah, you could take some profit now over the next week. I mean, it's going to be a lot of front running for the rate cuts September 17th, so keep an eye on that. Adrian, any predictions for World Libertyfy? Yep, just gave that. Probably dipped to 20 cents and then pumped to 40 over the next few weeks. Sahil, best way to execute future trades and learn. So I have a BloFin tutorial actually, and I believe we have one on Gem Hunters. If you go to the free Telegram group and you go to the pin message at the very top, like the first one, you'll see a BloFin tutorial and you can watch that and learn. Stefan, can you explain to me the full plan for tomorrow World Libertyfy? Yep, just went over it. Diddy, I heard it's, but yeah, guys, I wouldn't buy World Libertyfy at the beginning. Like, it's going to dump at the beginning. So, because people are up 10, 20, 30x. So just stay patient. Have some limit orders at 20 cents, 15, 10, and 5. I would just trade spot for World Libertyfy. I would not trade leverage on it. It's going to be way too volatile, guys. Diddy, I heard it's good to sign up for other exchanges as some coins get listed there before the ones with major volume. What are your thoughts on this? Yeah, 100%. If you sign up for other exchanges, like you said, you can get in early before the other exchanges list it. So 100%. But just make sure you're diversifying your capital across different exchanges. Frederick, how do you know that the bear market will begin around May of 2026? And why do you think there will be a bear market even though we have a great environment for crypto? Great questions, Kelly. And this is something else. Well, I'll go back to the slides after this question. But this is something else it's a good point to make is I'm not 100% sure will last until May 2026. But like you said, there's so many catalysts on the horizon, like Ethereum staking ETF, US announcing an accumulation plan for the SBR, the Clarity Act getting passed, institutional flow coming in, digital asset treasuries really ramping up, QT ending and QE starting, quantitative easing, the money printer turning on, rate cuts continuing, countries and nation states investing, retirement accounts investing. Like there's a lot of catalysts, right? And so that's why I'm thinking May 2026. But here's the thing. My top target was originally 120K by October, and we've already hit that for Bitcoin. And so I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't say the top could be in already, right? We could already hit the top, guys. And if we did, GG's. Hope you made some money. But I'm still of the volition that we could still make a lot of money. And at the very least, I would take out 1/3 profits by the end of October, take out 1/3 profits by the end of December or January, which was a 2017 top, and then take out 1/3 of your profits by May 2026. And so you've taken out 1/3, and again, I wouldn't time the market, right? You can't time it. So that's why you take profits along the way. So depending when we top out, if it's October, November, like in 2021, if it's December, January, like in 2017, or if it's another top in May of 2026, like we had in 2021 as well for its first top. And so there's various different ways that we can top, guys. And so just keep that in mind. And yeah, like Kelly said, I mean, heck, we couldn't even, maybe we won't have a bear market. Maybe it'll just be a bull for the next 4, 5, 6 years. Who knows? But you have to manage risk accordingly in that scenario. So, okay. With that, let's go ahead and answer a few more questions, or not answer, but let's continue with the slides. So stable coins and risk management. Use stable coins like USDT, USDC for liquidity and yield. This is what I was talking about. Well, where you can stake your stables, you can lend them, and you can earn some APY. Also, it's for liquidity. So you always want to have some stable coins ready. At least 10% of your portfolio should be in stable coins, just waiting, right? Because here's the thing is during crashes, everyone always panics. But if you have stable coins, you're not going to panic, right? You're going to be ready and you're going to invest accordingly at those major support levels in the daily or weekly while your indicators like the RSI and stock RSI are on Confluence oversold. So that's why I say use stable coins to your advantage. Hedging against volatility is no position is a position, right? People think they have to be long or short. Guys, you can just be in stables and that's a position because you're still hedging against all the volatility, investing when the risk reward is on your side. And you also maintain that flexibility to enter new opportunities quickly. Now, diversification across blockchains. So don't limit yourself to just the Ethereum ecosystem or the Solana ecosystem. Spread it out. Remember what I talked about with L2s, the base ecosystem. Guys, if Ethereum's doing good, that liquidity is going to flow over to the base chain, flow over to other ecos. If I had to choose which ecosystems to invest in, I would say Ethereum, Solana, Base, and BNB, the Binance Smart Chain. Those 4 ecosystems. Yes, you can invest in others. We saw the advantage of investing in the Story ecosystem, IP. I mean, that ecosystem has been doing crazy. And that's another thing I want to mention as well is, yeah, there's all kinds of different ecosystems, but what's the friction? What's the entry, the barrier? Is bridging, right? Bridging is the biggest barrier to entry for all of these ecosystems because people don't want to take the time to bridge. They'd rather stay in their Solana ecosystem in the trenches trying to make it with a 100x meme coin than bridge over to a new ecosystem like Story Protocol, and make 5, 10x on those tokens. The big thing I will say, the least barrier to entry is the Solana ecosystem. Like, people can get on that easily with Moonshot. They can trade it anywhere on the Phantom Wallet, etc. It takes more effort to bridge over to a new ecosystem. Guys, if there's big influencers backing this ecosystem, if there's big catalysts, if there's big institutions backing it, why not invest a little bit and bridge over, right? It'll take 5, 10 minutes. You'll be over there, you learn about it, and you can have some good opportunities. So yeah, just make sure that you guys are still diversifying across different blockchains and have stables in each blockchain when an opportunity presents. Because a lot of times when these tokens launch or big news comes out, you have maybe 5, 10 minutes to invest in that token before it absolutely sends. That could be from a call from a big influencer. It could be from a call from gym hunters. It could be anywhere, right? But diversifying across different blockchains is what's going to help you get those opportunities as quickly as possible. And also, each chain has unique ecosystems and opportunities. So, for example, the Solana chain is known as the G chain, right? There's people buy and sell tokens within seconds on there. Whereas the base chain is a little bit more of a buy and hold mentality. You don't have as much volatility. Yes, there is still volatility, but it's not as bad as Solana. Ethereum is even better because of the high gas fees. So people don't buy and sell as much. It's more buying and holding. And so you can see the different ecosystems have different styles of trading. And so just make sure you are aware of those different styles of trading and adapting accordingly. Also, risk management strategies. So set allocation limits per token, such as 10% max. Now I'll dive deeper into the percentage portfolio allocation depending on your strategy. The last slide, it'll be a good one. But not over investing into one single token. Now, I'll caveat this with saying if you want to invest 30% into Bitcoin, fine. That's a caveat, right? Some of the majors, the top ones, are caveats. But in general, no more than 10% of your total portfolio, because that is a lot. If you're trading with $1,000, and that's $100 into an individual token, that's a lot, right? So making sure that you are still diversifying and managing that risk and limiting yourself accordingly. Then also take profits periodically. So profits are very important because we mentioned, we don't know when the market's going to top. We don't know when attention is going to shift. Like Luke always says, where attention goes, money flows. So depending where the attention is at the time, that's where the money's going to be. Where's the hype at the time? We saw how quickly altcoins can lose hype. 1 week, Sui is the best thing since sliced bread. The next thing is dumping 50%. Like, the attention does not stay. And so you got to have a strategy for long-term investing, medium-term investing, short-term investing, and get in and out when appropriate. So take profits along the way. That's why I have TP1, TP2, and TP3 when I have leverage trades or any trade for that example. So making sure that you have profits along the way because, again, nothing lasts forever. The market moves in cycles. We have periods of it where everything's going up for a week and then everything goes down for a couple weeks. So make sure you take profits along the way. Avoid overexposure to newer hyped projects. Guys, this is actually a perfect example of World Liberty-Fi, right? Don't put all your investment into World Liberty-Fi. Like, there's a lot of people holding from 1.5 cents or 5 cents from the pre-sale. So why would you invest 100% of your portfolio in at 40 cents? Yes, there's a lot of opportunity with the token, but never overexpose yourself like that. Never. Limit allocation to max 10% per token. And then use stop losses and portfolio rebalancing. So I want to caveat this. If you're holding spot long-term, then don't use a stop loss. Like if you're holding Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana long-term, I'm talking more than 6 months, then yeah, just hold out the volatility, right? We saw Ethereum went all the way down to $1,500. Solana went all the way down. Well, this was last cycle, but went all the way down to $8 before it bounced. So yes, there's times when you use a stop loss, times to not. Now, if you're doing short term, of course, use a stop loss because the volatility is going to be high, especially around hyped or new projects. So manage your risk accordingly. And then with leverage trading, always use a stop loss. So, because you always want to preserve your capital. And then don't be afraid to rebalance your portfolio. Just because you've diversified into 10 different tokens doesn't mean you have to hold those 10 tokens till the end of time. Like, you can still have some leeway. You can have tokens that you're holding long term, but then medium and short term, you can rebalance your portfolio as the attention shifts, as the narrative shifts, as the catalyst shift, as you have unlocks upcoming. There's different kinds of reasons why you would rebalance your portfolio. So just make sure you know all the information about each token you're investing in and keep up with it, because there's always catalysts coming out. There's always new updates coming out that could affect the price of that token. Now, let's get to the good slide here. Long-term versus short-term holding. So long-term, Bitcoin, Ethereum, top layer ones. That's what I said. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. Short-term, emerging altcoins or trend plays. We talked about Diversify. There's also Plasma. There's also a few other tokens launching. Zero Gravity Labs. You have Momentum. You have Camp, right? Emerging altcoins. Use that to your advantage, guys. You can earn 2x, 5x, 10x if you're in at the right price. You buy at the dips. Always buy at the dips. Never buy these. Then never FOMO in, guys. Wait for the dips. Wait for price to stabilize, and then start DCAing. Don't invest everything on the dips. Dollar cost average. If you're going to invest $100, maybe invest 50 at the dip, and invest another 25 when it dips again, and invest the last 25 when it dips again. That way you've averaged in your price. Balance speculative bets with strong fundamentals. So don't invest in a token just because it's cheap. Make sure that token has strong fundamentals to go with it. Who's backing it? What are the tokenomics? How's the team look? What are the upcoming catalysts? Guys, the strong fundamentals needs to match the token. Just because a token's cheap doesn't mean it's a good opportunity to buy it. If it's backed up by strong fundamentals, yes, then you could have a higher likelihood of a 2x, 5x, or more. But it needs to match with its fundamentals. Now, two different types of strategies here. So if you're a person that's low risk, you have a full-time job, you're not looking to invest in crypto, 24/7 or be on the screen 24/7, you just want to invest and forget it, then I recommend the low risk strategy. This is 30% Bitcoin, 20% Ethereum, 10% Solana. So 60% of your portfolio is invested in the top 3 majors. I call these the blue chips. Next, 10% in high conviction alts. This could be spread across altcoins like Hype, like potentially Sui, if it can catch a bid, and then others, even World Libertyfy, if you can get it at a good price, and a few others, right? So high conviction alts, spread out 10% across those, because they're going to be a little more volatile, but provide a little bit more returns than these main ones. And then 10% in leverage. So leverage trading can provide exponential returns, but only if you're disciplined with it. But at the same time, leverage trading is the hardest to do, especially for beginners. And so for this 10% leverage, I would just follow the Jim Hunter calls and nothing else. And then just slowly grow that side of your portfolio. And then 10% in memes. Again, memes are very, very risky, guys. I mean, very risky. You've seen how quickly they can go to zero. Therefore, same thing. I'd only invest in memes from Jim Hunters or from reputable groups or callers that have been accurate in the past. So 10% into memes, because still, these can provide those 2x, 5x, 10x returns. Then that 10% could grow into 20 or 30% of your portfolio by the time you make those returns, right? But they're still very risky. That's why I say only 10%. And then finally, 10% in stables. So ready to buy the dips, ready in case we have another crash, and it's just a hedge in general. So this is the low risk strategy, guys. Again, if you want to buy it and forget it, I recommend this. Now, if you want to more actively manage, take a medium to high risk approach, you have strategy 2. So this is 10% in Bitcoin, 10% in Ethereum, and 10% Solana. So only 30% in the majors versus 60%. And now you're investing 30% of your portfolio into high conviction alts. So this is where you get a little bit more. This is where you can dabble in, okay, I'm going to invest in the RWA sector, like C-Pool, like Syrup, like Ondo. Okay, and then I'm going to invest in Hype as well with Sui, and then Link, and then all these other tokens, right? This is where your basket is more in these high conviction alts because you want more of a higher beta percentage play. And then 20% is in leverage. So this is where you're really trying to compound that growth, right? You're just following the Jim Hunter calls. You're really trying to compound, really trying to grow that portfolio, and you're willing to take a little more risk with that. Therefore, you have more in leverage. And then still 10% in memes, since I don't think memes are ever not safe. And so, yeah, only amount I've listed in those is 10%. And then finally, 10% in stables, because you always got to hedge, right? You never want to go full on high risk insane mode. So this is the medium to high risk strategy. And then you have the low risk strategy here. Let me know which one you're going to follow in the chat. Put 1 for low risk or 2 for medium high risk. Which of these two strategies are you going to pick? Let me go ahead and answer some questions. Diddy says, for instance, World Liberty isn't on Coinbase as of yet, or Kraken. Yeah, they're going to list on every exchange tomorrow. They're just waiting for that exit liquidity. Ghostwriter, are we getting a new trade anytime soon? Also, do you plan on making Discord? Yes, Ghostwriter. Yes. Answer your question. Visa, great live. Every call from Gym Hunters is a banger. Learned a lot from y'all. Hey, appreciate you, Visa. Appreciate you watching, too. Also, guys, if you haven't liked the stream, definitely like it. Much, much appreciated. Abdusalam says, is Bitcoin going to 1 million? Yes, by 2030. Kuba, greeting from Poland. Hey, I love Poland. Awesome place. Thank you. Brian, thanks for the insight, CD. No problem, Brian. Abdusalam says, is Dubai a good place for trading? So Dubai, again, you can trade anywhere. Dubai is good for networking. So Dubai, Miami, which is the United States, or Singapore. I'd probably say those 3 places. But really for networking, Dubai or Miami. Those are going to be the best where all your influencers are going to be at, and you'll be able to network with high net worth individuals. Also, Abdusalam reminded me, guys, surround yourself with people who elevate you and lift you higher. Surround yourself with people who are smarter than you. Because because you know the famous quote, you are the 5 people you surround yourself with. You are the sum of the 5 people you surround yourself with. Guys, if the 5 people you're surrounding yourself with always complain, if they always talk about other people negatively, if they always talk about how the world is out to get them, how the government's out to get them, how they can't succeed, get away from those people because they're toxic. They aren't going to elevate you at all, and they're going to emit a low vibration, and you're going to attach to that, and then your mindset is going to be a low vibration frequency, and the universe isn't going to give you what you want. So highly recommend you surround yourself with high net worth individuals or people that are smarter than you that are doing something with their life. And Dubai and Miami are those places where you have people who are contagious, who are always doing something. You see it on X as well. Follow people on X who inspire you guys. That's why I try to give you guys motivational info, because everyone here can become a millionaire. I promise you that. There's how many millionaires in the world? How many tens of thousands of millionaires? Guys, it's possible, but you have to put in the work, okay? And the first part of it starts with your mindset. If you believe it's possible, you're going to achieve it. If you don't believe it's possible, you're not going to achieve it. It's as easy as that. And so belief is the first step in achieving your goals. Brian with a bull and Jim emoji. Love it. Dylan, with the US dollar down 11% in the last 7 months, Morgan Stanley predicts another loss of 10% in 2026. What are your thoughts on this for the market for people in the US? Yeah, so the dollar is inversely correlated to the price of Bitcoin. So if the dollar loses more value, Bitcoin's going to rise. The DXY, if you want to chart it on TradingView or BloFin, it's going to be inversely correlated. So I think that'd be good for Bitcoin. And I think that everyone needs to start diversifying into crypto if they aren't, because the world is going to go to an interesting place over the next few years, and currencies are going to devalue, and crypto is going to be that flight to safety. So please, everyone, diversify into crypto. Brian says, what do you think about dividend reinvestment portfolios? So dividend reinvestment, those aren't bad. Like, dividends are a good source of passive income, you could say. So as long as it's a reputable company, reputable field or asset that you're investing in, then yeah, it's not a bad solution. Mickey rules. Come on, guys. Like free teaching from the pros. Yes, please like the video. Helps so much, guys. Appreciate it. Diddy says, my thoughts on Bitcoin is that it'll be stuck around the 109K and 107K range until rate news. Lots of liquidation around that zone on the 12, 24, 48 hour. Correct me if I'm wrong. No, you're right, Diddy. There's a lot of liquidity around these areas. I would love to see it, get up to that 113 to 114K liquidity zone. But yeah, we're definitely bouncing around these levels. Ed says, thoughts on Bitcoin quantum risk? Low risk for Bitcoin quantum. I mean, who knows? It could have already been developed, but they're already looking at ways to mitigate that. Jakub, 7th is the full moon. When do we think we're going to see a drop in price till next week? Yeah, great question, actually, Jakub. The full moon is September 7th, which is historically bullish 70% of the time. And it's possible we dump before then, but yeah, there's going to be some bullishness as we get closer to it. So definitely look for that. And then potentially a dump maybe a couple days after, 3 days after. Ghost Rider, also, since my stop loss got hit on Pengu, should I get an entry 2.95 to 3? Since starting of September, is it going to be bullish? So potentially Ghost Rider. And was your stop loss at 2.77 cents and it got hit? Because I don't think mine got hit yet, but I'll have to double check. But yeah, as far as Pengu, I mean, it's not a bad entry here, honestly. I mean, it's right there. And so if you want to take a low leverage approach and then place your stop around that 2.77 cent level, may not be bad. Mickey Rules says, bro, tell me which is the best platform to trade for your ideas. BloFin. Trading on BloFin is the best. You can find it in the description. Referral links in the description for gym hunters. You can find it on my Telegram. I have it in my pinned messages for my referral link. I mean, wherever. It's, yeah, whatever you want to use it. But yeah, it's the best exchange. Non-KYC as well. Michael says, what do you think about GOAT Shield by James Wynn? Now, I think James Wynn he had his time, and now he's just trying to extract whatever money he can. I mean, yes, there's opportunity in it, but just be careful. Also, if you guys aren't following me on X at the CryptoData, really appreciate that. Try to provide you guys the best content. Have my pin message as well. Make sure you join that. And then check out my recent post where I talk about the overall markets. Heavenly said, ACD, will the Gym Hunter Premium Group be opening to new members to schedule the live call soon? Thank you. God bless. Hey, God bless you, Heavenly. I'm not sure when they're going to be opening new signups, but most likely within the next few months. DJin says, during a bear market, which is better for perpetual futures trading, swing trading or day trading? For bear markets, swing trading for sure, because usually you just want to place your shorts at major resistance, and usually we have a continuous decline after that. It's not as like bull market, bounces higher then down. It's usually rejecting off resistance fairly consistently in a bear market. Leonardo says, do you believe ETH comes back to 3650 after going to 7500? Ooh, great question. I think it's a possibility, yes, especially during the bear market. 100%. Clavd says, where can I buy our Libertyfi token? It should be on most exchanges. Right now, it's pre-market trading, but yeah, it's on most exchanges. Ashk says, Labubu is doing great. Yes, Labubu is doing nice. There's actually some big investors in it over the past few days. That's why I think it's going to be even better in the future. Ooh, a lot of questions, guys. You guys got all the questions coming. Alpha, I wanted to join crypto, so I asked you in the last stream for your advice, and I haven't watched any of those videos yet, but I started with blockchain and watched some random channel on that topic. Awesome, Alpha. Hope you're learning a lot. Spotify, is Phantom good for holding spot? Where do you suggest holding? Phantom. I'm not sure what Phantom. Oh, Phantom, meaning FTM? Is that what you're talking about? I'm not holding that one. Abhishek, Data, next FOMC is Sell the News event, and we are going to see Bitcoin at 98K. What do you say? I agree with the Sell the News event. Not sure we'll see BTC that low, but yes, a definitely possibility. I'll keep that in the back of my head. Imbulazi says, where should I enter on that ETH for long buy? You could DCA at 4,300 and then 40.60 and 38.20 or 38.30. Zid says, AI Luke, we love you. AI Luke loves you too. Beep, beep, bop, bop. Djin, Abhishek, let's see, Malano. I've covered so far. Awesome, Alpha. Glad you're learning a lot. Ghost Rider, so if the weekly or monthly close candle is red, should we expect volatility? Yeah, that's another thing too, Ghost Rider, is the Bitcoin monthly candle is going to close red for the first time since March. So that's the big question is, are we going to start the, I'm going to say the bear market from here, but we're going to start the downtrend from here? Hard to say. Like, that red monthly close I do not like. I do not like the close below its major trend line support on the weekly from last week. So, yeah, we could be in for some volatility. I'm still of the volition that September will be bearish overall, and mid to middle of October will be bearish. Alpha transaction processing. Oh, yep. Alpha's doing a lot of stuff. Let's see. K Garoga says, AI Luke drinking coffee. AI Luke is, yes, I am drinking coffee, actually. That's very funny you said that. It's actually matcha green tea, but yeah, caffeine. It's organic. I buy it from Whole Foods. It's called Pop and Bottle. It has organic, so it has almond milk, dates, organic dates, green tea, matcha, vanilla extract, spirulina, and organic Himalayan pink sea salt. So has a lot of good stuff in it. Jay, okay, so we download BloFin. How do we get started or educate ourselves on the trading part, i.e. long, short? Do you tell us when to enter and get out? Yes, exactly. Tell you when to enter, tell you when to get out. So yeah, there's videos on BloFin as well. We have tutorials. So if you go to the first pinned message in the Gym Hunters free group, there's a tutorial. If you go to my personal YouTube channel, CryptoData, you'll see the BloFin tutorial video. It's probably the 5th or 6th video down. I go over how to trade on there. But just, yeah, ask questions. If you want to even join my Telegram, ask questions in there. I'll answer questions about BloFin or wherever. But yeah, it's a very, very easy exchange to use. And then, yeah, I make calls. I make leverage calls. Eric, are you still in Labubu? And what's the recent pump about? Yep, I'm still in Labubu. And yeah, it's because some big whales jumped in from some big ecosystems that they have yet to announce. Bodified, should I be putting my TP at resistance? Yes. Put your TP levels at various resistance points. Yang Cho, I'm new to trading. Help me. So I recommend watching Technical Analysis Basics. So it's a third video from the bottom. If you go to the Gem Hunters YouTube channel, click on the live tab. It's the third video from the bottom. And you'll learn how to draw support and resistance levels. Jessica, where do I get access to where Libertyfy? I thought it comes out tomorrow. I think Virtual Bacon posted it somewhere. Yeah, it's still pre-market trading right now. So you can trade it on BloFin. You can trade it on any exchange. It's pre-market. Bromes, what if the where Libertyfy starts at $1? If it starts at $1, definitely don't invest. I mean, if you invest, if anyone here invested, sell it. Alpha says, what do I study next? TA Basics. Look at all the videos in the Gem Hunters live streams and look at some of those lessons that I've been streaming about, that I've streamed. Mohammed, win bull run, middle of October to Q4. Jessica, when's the paid group? Soon, Jessica, aiming for tomorrow. Hacks, thoughts on Avalanche? Not really bullish or bearish on it. It's just, it hasn't really been outperforming that much recently. Plus, the whole gaming narrative is diluted. Hugo, do you expect an explosive Q4 for alts? Yeah, towards the end of October. Bodified, what does it mean to top out? Top out means the cycle tops in, meaning we're entering a bear market, meaning there's not much more room for higher, meaning alts and Bitcoin doesn't reach new all-time highs for another year or two. Mohammed, win bull run? Yep, middle to end October. K. Groga says, I'm new here. Yep, just answered that. Aldis, why don't you record your lifestyle and shit? I would love to inspire a lot of people. Aldis, you know, I mean, so funny you mentioned that. So actually in my group, I'm going to have a lot more lifestyle posts and everything where I record more about workouts and different plans. Mainly for myself though, as far as if you're talking about like, why don't I show my face or record more vlogs like Maritz does or Luke does? It's because I like to stay pseudo anon. Maybe that'll change in the future, but it's just for myself, privacy-wise. But yeah, I mean, I'm still down to share motivational quotes and what I do in my life. But as far as like face-to-face, probably going to stay away from that for now. But I'll still share a lot of stuff I do. But yeah, good suggestion though. Appreciate that. How huge says gotta let's see, just gotta live and react within the present rather than trying to expect what goes on next. Exactly. Diddy, how do you condone your research in meme coins when they are freshly out? And same when it comes to chain research. I don't like to invest in memes when they're freshly out. If I was doing research on them, I look at the socials, I look at how active they are, I look at people who are invested in it, I look at the wallets. Are there any good wallets that are in? I look at the bundle. Does anyone have a large amount of supply? It's probably going to get dumped if so. And I look at the overall narrative of it. Is it a good narrative that can catch on? Is it something that recently happened in the news, etc.? So memes are all about hype and like recent or current events. Atwa says, can you make 100K from 100 USD? It's possible, but very, very, very hard. At that point, you need to be all in on leverage and slowly compound. Kazar, beginner to crypto. Let's see. I'm also new. Welcome, guys. Yeah, just go to the live tab on the Gem Hunters YouTube channel and then just look at the third video from the bottom to learn technical analysis and then just go up from there. Now I have a lot of video lessons after that. Kazar says 1,000 portfolio as a beginner, realistic monthly target, spot or future, how to diversify this portfolio. Yeah, just diversify it in the same way I had for the slides, right? So, for example, here, Kazar, you could do, since you have 1,000, if you really want to, amp it up, then you could do strategy, or you could do strategy 2, medium to high risk, and then invest it this way. 10% Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, 30% high conviction alts, and then 20% leverage, 10% memes, 10% stables. Bromes, what about September 7th, new moon, like August 8th, 9th? What should we expect by then? Yeah, I think pump until the full moon. So yeah, it's a full moon September 7th, and I'm expecting pumps around that date for a couple days. Livio says, how do you keep up with a token you hedge? So it's just doing research, right? Following them on X, paying attention to their social media for Discord, Telegram, etc., and paying attention to the updates they have. Searching the cash tag on X, like cash tag SUI, S-U-I, and seeing what updates they have, right? All that stuff. You got to stay. And then also look at their upcoming unlocks. Do they have any big unlocks coming up? Because it's going to be bearish. if they do. K Garoga says, after learning technical analysis, how do you research? Where do you find stuff like meme coins to look at? Which crypto to trade or invest? At that point, you just got to follow reputable people on X. And so the biggest thing with that, is, yeah, follow reputable people on X and then just kind of look at what they're investing in. So, for example, myself, if you're following me on X at the CryptoData, I'll share a lot of good stuff with you on there. And then also you can follow Benjamin Cohen. Benjamin Cohen into Cryptoverse is extremely smart. So highly recommend you follow him. And then also follow Virtual Bacon. So Virtual Bacon 0x. So make sure you follow him. And he is very, very good as well with his analysis. So make sure you follow Virtual Bacon 0x. Great guy as well. But yeah, a lot of good people. Let me just get a message real quick. Stand by. Let's see. Okay, it's gonna answer a few questions. We're gonna have to end the stream after that. X says, do you think the Pi coin will ever become a real token? No, I'm not as bullish on that. Let's see. So let's see. People for their strategy to get 2 or strategy 1. Let's see. So it looks like, most are doing the higher risk strategy. Very, very nice. Let's see. Hard facts is I can't follow these strategies because I only have 1,000. I mean, you can do it with 1,000. You just need to adjust the percentage accordingly. Heavenly says, thank you for what you do. Hey, no problem. Hard facts says I'm fully leveraged. Awesome. Thoughts on Brett's? Not as bullish on it. Oh, a couple people taking the low risk approach. Nice. More passive investing. Kaiser says, September is historically a bearish month. Where do you see Bitcoin and Ethereum price? Bitcoin potentially 104K, Ethereum 3830. Olivia, if you get a loan for 5 years for 10,000, 3%, how much would you put in stocks, crypto? First, I wouldn't get a loan. That's way too risky. The crypto could turn on a dime. It's very, very risky. But if you already got it, then I would do 50% stocks and 50% crypto. I just split it down the middle. And then from the 50% crypto, change it into the strategy here. Hey, Max, I'm doing good. I think first week of September will be bullish. I think ETH will pump around 5K again, yes. Kaiser, that will be announced in the next few days in my Telegram. Max, I can't do any TA right now, but I would just see if it's near major support near the daily or weekly time frame. I can. Okay, here I'll go over real quick for you. Since Max was asking nicely, let me just go through Aura real quick. But I do have an appointment I got to go to right now, but I'm staying a little later to answer the last few questions. So yeah, for Aura, this is what I'm looking at. It rejected off resistance at 140. So next level I'd look at to bid is near 100 mil. That's what I look at for Aura. And then if it closed the daily below 100 mil or 96 mil, then I would get out. See, Ramiro 17 just got my first trading payout. I'm trying to reinvest my money. Thanks for all the value you're giving. Hey, appreciate you, Ramiro. And good luck on your trading journey. Always good to start young. Botified, I meant Phantom Wallet. Oh yeah, Phantom Wallet's good. Phantom Wallet, MetaMask Wallet, Rabby Wallet. Those are all good wallets. Let's see. Brendan was asking about the U.S. 10-year Treasury. Yeah, right. We'll have to see when it's at 5%. Let's see. What other wallets are good? Just mention those. Clipper, when Bitcoin candle means alts will pump. Yeah, Bitcoin rises, alts should rise. Is it real? I mean, depending though. If Bitcoin dominance rises, usually means alts are going to bleed against it. So maybe in for some bearishness in a couple weeks. Money moves. Is it realistic to achieve 2K to 8 to 10K this bull run? What are your thoughts, advice? Yeah, it's very possible. Just diversify accordingly here. Maybe go to the medium to high risk strategy. Invest a little bit more in leverage to do that. Bigos, hey CD, where do you see Sol ETH in a hype cycle top? Sol 350 to 500, Ethereum 10 to 15K. Jansen, if you were to take a futures trading on WorldLibify, what price do you set a limit order at? 20 cents would be the place I'd set limit order at, but just be very careful. Low leverage. Let's see, do we need a VPN for BloFin? Greg asked. Some states or countries you do, some you don't. Let's see. Actually, ACD, I've got old version of Trezor, one that I bought 2018. Should I buy a new one or continue using it? No, you should be continuing using it. As long as it allows or it supports software updates, you should be fine. Let's see. Well, it says, hey, bro, what's your recommendation to start your and learn, have a good base, and start trading? Just follow the basics, learn TA, and then follow the right people. Mirza, do you use TP levels or stop losses for spot trades as well? For smaller arts, though, not for BTC. So, it depends. You could. I mean, if I'm holding them long term, I won't use stop losses. But if it's short to medium term, yes. Alpha, if you're not Luke, who are you? You sound a lot like him. My name is John Luke, not Luke. But yeah, we talk similar. It's pretty funny. Diddy, will BTC chop in the 109 to 107? There's lots. Yep, it could. Bromes, can we get more calls in the free group? Screenshots of your entry would be enough too. Yep, definitely. We'll do that. Mirza, I'll post a lot in my paid though. Mirza, what can we expect going to cover in the upcoming Gym Hunters lessons? Well, it's based off of what's currently happening in the environment, so I adjust accordingly to make sure you guys are getting the best link. Bigos says, CD, I want to thank you that your voice is pleasant to listen to. Hey, appreciate you, Bigos. Mirza, are the metrics that are used to determine if a meme coin is scamish on platforms like Axiom also legit to use for other bigger MC coins like Fartcoin, Useless, etc.? Insiders, bundlers? Yes, but they're not as prevalent for those top coins since distribution is already spread out. It's mainly for the new ones. Let's see. Could you go over the RSI and stock RSI and how they react when they cross? I get confused sometimes on bias changes every second. Yeah, so usually for stock RSI and RSI, I use those for daily or weekly time frames. When they cross to the upside, it tells you trend. The trend is more bullish. When they cross to the downside, trend is more bearish. When they're overbought, it means you should sell. When they're oversold, it means you should buy. Well, what advice can you let out how to create a group of people for trenches? I'm right now alone, but want to find people that are on the same page as me. Just join like free groups like Gym Hunters, my group. I mean, look for the top people who have, a lot of good free groups and you respect and they have good calls in the past, and then you can make that accordingly. Let's see. Miku rules, that's going to be coming out soon. Stay tuned. John, got to make it. Thanks, JL, for always providing wisdom. Hey, no problem. I started with 25 and grew it up to $80. Now I can give away. It's lots of leverage trades to grow the account and always take profits and set break even. Yep. No problem, Kaiser. Smith, how to use Fibber Trace to open positions for trade? Ask ChatGPT or watch YouTube videos. They'll tell you a lot. DGen, I usually trade swings using price action and ICT, and I don't depend on RSI or EMA indicators. Should I stick with the approach or consider adding indicators to my strategy? So if you're profitable, DGen, no reason to change it. If you're not profitable, maybe integrate those indicators and see how it is. And what are your thoughts on Arkham trading platform? I think it's good. Dreamer, always appreciate your time, CD. Awesome, guys. Well, that's going to do it with the stream. Again, I really appreciate it. Please like the stream if you guys like it. And also, if you haven't followed me on X at the CryptoData, always much appreciated. If you're not following me on X at the CryptoData, also, let me go ahead and link that for you. And I'll link a few other accounts. So follow me, follow Benjamin Cohen. He is one of the best macro guys I know. So follow him. And then also follow Virtual Bacon. He is also one of the best macro guys I know. Has a lot of good live streams as well. And then also follow the Gym Hunters X account if you guys aren't. Because remember, they always post good updates there as well. So trying to grow that as well. But thank you guys so much. I appreciate y'all. I love you guys. I hope you have a great weekend. Great